all of these, if you notice, like most of them, Hall is a defender, but apart from them, a lot of them are strikers and midfielders. So let's get into the best replacements or best strikers to buy. All right. I did some analysis here. This list looks at the last 7 game weeks, and I've like I've sorted these players by XGI, so expected goal involvement, and I'll point out a couple of things that sort of stood to me. Number one, like Mateta, Isak, Cunha, Gakpo, obviously I flagged, so I wouldn't look to sort of buy them, but they've shown really amazing numbers. The obvious options then are very limited. So if you look at good strikers that have had good numbers, who are also playing in 29, then we basically only have a few options left. So Visa has been the standout. I think SN and I both own him, and I'm very happy to own him against Aston Villa. One quick stat I'll throw out is
Yeah.
Aston Villa has had 3 clean sheets all season, which is the 4th worst. So apart from Leicester, Southampton, and Ipswich, Aston Villa has had the worst clean sheet record.
That's actually very
So
shocking.
yeah, so Visa is a very good hold. Oh, my bad. Visa is a good hold for the Aston Villa
Spoiler.
fixture, and like if you're looking for replacements, he is one of the top in our list. Number 2 is Haaland. We'll get to Haaland in a lot more detail in the next slide. But needless to say, City has amazing fixtures coming up. He is a captaincy shout in a lot of those fixtures. City also has a couple of doubles coming up. So Haaland is back in contention. Wood is an obvious shout. He's owned by a lot of players. I still don't own him, and I
I
I
don't
will own
also.
him before I will own
Same,
him
same.
before 29. That's my pledge to you all. Um, so Visa, Haaland, and Wood have shown amazing numbers, and then Watkins is down the list, but still decent numbers. He doesn't play 29, so I wouldn't look there. And then Beto and JP are again decent shouts, especially if you're looking to upgrade to Haaland. Beto is an insane value at 5 million. They have a mixed bag of fixtures, so but it's not a bad shout, especially as the third striker, if as your
Yeah.
what like eighth or seventh
Eighth
attacker.
attacker. Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of more things to point out. So Visa has what do you say? Visa has an expected points of 43 and he's scored 31 points, which means he's been underperforming his
Yeah. He
expected
had
points. So
3 goals ruled offside. So had he
yep,
scored them, he would have been exactly at 43 points.
exactly. So underperformance over a longer period of game weeks, this should come back to expected points. So I do expect Visa to sort of score like come to get more points. And then Haaland and Word and Beto, all of them have been massively sort of overperforming their XG. Wood is Haaland is on expected points, but Wood and Beto especially, they've been overperforming. So that's something to note. Uh, Wood, I'm only getting because his ownership is really high, and a lot of people will be captaining him in game week 29, considering there's no Isak and Cunha anymore. And Wood against Ipswich is a very good captaincy contender as well. I wouldn't be shocked if his effective ownership is more than 100%, and hence, I think everybody should have him for 29 if you can. Yeah, I think this should be like your priority transfer. So yeah, if I want to rank my top picks, it would be Wood, Visa, and then Haaland / Isak, and then Beto. Uh, how do you see this guy? What's your analysis? What do you guys think you should be looking at? Hassan, you want to go first?
I think Arsalan. Yeah, Arsalan. Even though I think I know you're talking to the audience, but I felt like you're telling me to just get Word ASAP. So I'll. I think yeah. I think I'll free up some funds also if I were to take out Mateta for Wood. And like you said, he's a potential captaincy shout in Game Week 29 also, given the fact that there aren't any other clear standout options apart from maybe United playing Leicester. So if I have Bruno, so I can. But I think yeah, Haaland would be difficult, but we'll discuss why in the later slide. But Visa to Word, even Gakpo to Word, Or if you're actually looking to get Haaland and you have like 4 or 5 transfers, then you can probably uh, rule out one of the flag strikers to Beto and then upgrade the other one to Haaland if you can. And I remember just a few game weeks ago, all strikers were on point. Like yeah, like I didn't have Wood, but I had Visa performing, Mateta performing, Isak performing. So I was not. But right now, given the fact that there are 4 to 5 injury suspensions, we're all of a sudden scrambling for like the perfect striker replacements. So I think it's just down to the fact that whatever you choose and you hope that that striker performs instantly. I think that will really help you get some good rank gains. And like you said, these Haaland is probably on his expected points, but Wood's numbers, Beto's numbers, I think Beto from that blank gave me double gave me 24. Since then, he's been almost scoring or assisting every week. So those are very decent numbers. But I think yeah, I would agree with your ranking of maybe Visa, Haaland slash Mamouche also if Haaland's funds are an issue, and Wood. Watkins, I would not go there just because of his price point, and you would probably need to do a side move from Isak to Watkins, which all people already did for their double, and the fact that he blanks in game week 29. So yeah, I would look at the cheaper options. Hopefully, maybe get Haaland later on.
I think very good points. And I completely agree with SN and Arslan. You both. I think Wood is the first priority. Also the reason is the next 4 fixtures or 5 fixtures after this for Wood are, and I was just checking our slide before, was like they play um, Ipswich in 29, and then they have Villa, United. Uh, yes, United first in 30, and then Villa in 31. All 3 teams are in the bottom 5 of XG conceded, and then they have Everton in 32, and then if they don't get a double, they have like Tottenham. So that means, and and the motivation to play come in top 4 is very high, right? So hence should be a no-brainer. In fact, I know we'll go to and maybe we'll talk about midfielders later, but there are other players as well in Forest, which if you ever think about doubling up, there are which you can target like a Elanga, which is only 5. He's only 5 point something, right? So he's also available, and Visa as well. Like especially if you don't own Mbumo, like there are teams which don't own Mbumo, so just bank on Visa. For City, Arslan, you're the best bet here, but I feel if you are not able to hold Haaland, I would just go Mamouche for sure. With especially with the minutes he's getting in the last game, like he has played quite a few minutes, and assuming City don't qualify from the Madrid round, then I think Mamouche. Like to me, he's much better a 7 million player than Visa as well. Like I just my own thinking because I feel he City will outscore Brentford uh, uh, in the next 10 to 12 game weeks that are left, or 10 game weeks that are left.
Let's talk about Marmoush. A lot of people are jumping on him. Uh, I am not too bullish from an FPL point of view based on his minutes, in my opinion, because
It's a good
we
point.
haven't seen KDB, Foden, and Marmoush sort of play together. KDB, okay, let's say KDB is down the pecking order. Like even Savinho is playing really well. Doku is also playing really well. And Foden, I think Pep would somehow play Foden. Like I'm very confident on that. Marmoush didn't play Tottenham too good, but he's an explosive player. So I am not too sure about his X minutes. If you're looking to get a City asset on a longer horizon, I am not too bullish on Marmoush, to be honest. If you want to punt on him till your next wild card, if you want a wild card in 30 or 31, then you can do Marmoush as a Haaland replacement. But Marmoush and Haaland, I like it's one of those comparisons like Salah or Gakpo. Like, would you swap Salah for Gakpo? You wouldn't. I think it's a similar discussion for me. Like Haaland versus Marmoush, I would like if you want to go City all in, then try to get Haaland. Marmoush is not a Haaland replacement, and that is one reason
Makes
why
sense.
even in these numbers, if you look, he was somewhere in the 17th or 18th rank when you compare all the strikers by the XG. And I'm only looking at the time horizon where he has since he started playing, right? So he scored 3 goals against Crystal Palace, but apart from that, he hasn't done much. He might score 2, 3 more. He's one of those, like he has a hat trick in him, but I'm worried about his minutes from an FPL point of view.
So great insight. Great insight on this.
On the bottom right, we have predicted points for game week 28 specifically. Um, Certain, like not surprising, but Haaland as predicted to get. Sorry, this is not. This is still game week 31. So till the wild card window we're looking at, since 20 from 28 till 31, Haaland is top. Then Isak, Wood, Vissa. We've already discussed all of them, and Isak. I think the algorithm is assuming he's fit, and I also think he's fit. Maybe he'll miss one game, but yeah. So these four definitely the best picks, no question. Which brings us to the next question, which is, should we get, like, all of this data directs us towards Haaland, right? So should we be looking at getting Haaland and like sort of tinkering with the whole team structure? Puneet, how about you go first?
Yeah, so we did a bit of analysis on both of these, right? And again, kudos to Arslanes and everyone on the team to do this. And the first points that and SN actually, sorry, Arsen actually hit the nail right now that Mamouche will not cover for Haaland. That means you're spending 14 plus million and Mamouche is 7 plus million, but it is never going to be that he's going to cover. Number one. Number two, if you were to think like this, right? If you think that City are now going to target top three, top four, assuming they'll start scoring goals, they have a double as well coming up in the future. You would want the best player in the squad who has delivered. He is a proven asset. You don't want to overthink this. Like, don't think about whether uh, doubling up on City can take over, whether someone else would give you the points. So with that context, how can you now tinker in and get him? So now we are confirmed that okay, Haaland is your player to target in City. Who all can you get? Isak and Watkins are your ready-made buys. Essen mentioned that people had gotten in Watkins in the double game week. Isak is your player who you would want for 32 or in the 32 double game week, but uh, he is someone who hasn't stayed fit, and now Wilson has started playing. So if he isn't fit, straight move to Isak, straight move from Isak, and then maybe look at how you can sell either of Palmer, Salah, or a higher or a Boomo if you have, and kind of double up to get Haaland. It will require funds. You might have to take it, but this is we are talking about Haaland, who has a double, 2 or 3 goal potential in almost every game week. So keep eye on the goal and not the effect it has in the short term. Number two, he doesn't blank in game week 29, right? So he's a banker. If you buy him, even for Forest, I don't think it's going to be a nil-nil. It is going to be a tough fixture, but it is going to be a goal scoring fixture for City and for Forest as well. So if you buy him now or if you buy him in 29, in both cases you will have to do two transfers because he's not going to be a like for like. I doubt anyone has that kind of budget to get him in singular. Um, and we've discussed the fixtures. It's there for the taking. Even in the short term, they are number one for fixtures. City have like 29 uh, a playing game, and then again 30 they have a playing game, and then 31, 32 onwards they start having a really good fixture turn as well. For
On the fixtures, very quickly, like they have Leicester in 30. Uh,
oh, yes,
just to point it out, like it is Leicester in 30 at home.
so that's like a yeah, that's he could just get a hat trick that game. So that will just all your hits, right? People plan, I mean, you have to plan like that. That if you have taken hits in, you will, if not taken hits, wonderful. But people who are risking that, oh, I'll have to take a -4, -8 for him. He could just return that in game week 30. So be rest assured that if you're taking a hit for him in 29, so that you can play full 11 in 29 and then go to 30 with Haaland as your captain in 30, because anyway you're not going to captain a Salah or a Palmer that game week. He's pretty likely to return that back in 30 itself. And the next point is what we've been discussing. I don't think anyone else covers. So like a Foden or a De Bruyne or a Doku or a Savinho will not cover for or like even going double midfield, right? Say for example, people might try Foden, Doku, Foden, Savinho, or KDB, someone like that, won't cover for him because he has started showing potential. In fact, we were just reading about this earlier, and we did a short last 10 game weeks and uh, the entire season XG for Haaland. He's very close to Salah. In fact, his XGA or XG is higher than Salah over the season. But even in the last 10 game weeks, he's not too far from Salah. Salah has overperformed his XG. It's just that because of the season City are having, it's just that he's not been able to perform at his potential with what he typically does. The other option, yeah, Arslan, you were saying something.
No, like fair points. And just to add one more point, all our attackers are fit now. Like we have Savio fit, Grealish fit, Doku fit. We even have Oscar Bog back in training. We
Yeah,
might see him a rare appearance. And then we also have a couple of new signings. Echeverry, who is I think Argentinian 19 years winger, he is also in training now. So midfield options we have like unlimited. Like if you talk about minutes only, uh, Haaland is the only nailed asset in my opinion from an attacking point of view.
yeah, makes sense. And the one point apart from selling your midfielders, who you will have to, there's also an option of selling Trent. Like if you're not going to keep Salah as, if say for example, if you think that Salah is someone who you can uh, remove, Trent is even more removable, right? Because Trent is not returning as frequently as Salah. Maybe they have um, some sort of fixtures that will turn, and they don't have a double anymore. So, and he's, to me, he's more dispensable than Salah this season, 100%. Like Trent is always the second player to come in. So yeah. So think of how you can move funds, but these are the 5 points that you should consider before you sell him.
So you made a great case for Haaland. Essen, if you were to get Haaland, two questions. Would you get him in 29 for Brighton? Sorry, 28 for Brighton, 29 for Brighton, or can we also wait till 30 for the Leicester? That's one. And number two, which is I think more important, is who do you sell for Haaland, right? You have Isak, Watkins, Salah, Palmer, Trent. I think these are your cash cows that most people own. So how do you make money for Haaland?
Yeah, I think I was just tinkering with my team, and given the team I have, if I just make one or two transfers, I'll have a full playing 11. If I don't get Haaland in, if I get Haaland in, that I would have another option on the bench. So I think I'm not going to get him in 29. I might just get him for the Leicester game, like Tony talked about. And to be honest, my only easy route would be selling maybe Van Dyke and Bruno to like lower price mids and defender, and upgrading Isak. But at the same time, Newcastle would have a double in game week 32, right? So I would just be getting Haaland for like 2 game weeks and then back to Isak. So I would be losing the value tied up in Isak just for Haaland. But he is explosive. He can easily get a hat trick. And I think by that time, Haaland would not be massively owned. He would still be a differential.
But he
So I
also
think,
doubles in 33.
yeah,
Haaland.
he does. He
Likely,
does.
yeah.
So I think it's just wait and see for me because honestly, at the start when I was taking him out on my wild card on game week 28, I think Aslan, me and you did the same. It was very weird to see our team without Haaland. But we had gotten so used to him being perma captain, and then even. But I think he stopped scoring after like 5 or 6 game weeks, and every game week up until the game week I took him out, I would just be like, "Oh, he'll return in this game week. Oh, amazing fixture, he'll return here." But we still kept him. So I think getting him back should be a no-brainer, given all the points Puneet said that he is likely to be the focal point of the team. But I would not be rushing into getting him back in. I think game week 28 and 29 should be a good litmus test to see if he actually like deserves his price tag. Like if maybe he was like 11, 12 million, then even him blanking would not hurt so much. But he was I think 15 million plus when he started to blank early in the season. And honestly, it was just becoming too much to bear seeing your premium asset, and even in good games, not in tough games, in good games, just blanking and screwing up chances that he would easily put away on any other day. So I think for me, it's a hold for now, and I'll assess in gaming 30, given how many transfers I have and like the budget. The budget, obviously, with Haaland, is always your budget because you have to change almost the entire shape of your team just to get him in.
Yeah.
So, and it's just like reverse. When you sell him, you have so much money, you're like, I can upgrade every position. But getting him in, you would also have to sacrifice your cash cows. So I
But
think it's a good move. But for me, I think I'll wait till gaming 30.
for the audience, like generally speaking, not specific to your team, for people who, like, let's say people looking to buy him in 29 or even 30, who do you think they should sell to make money for him? Like, obviously you have very limited cash cows to make money for him. So yeah, like generally for the audience who not for your team specific.
I think it would be mostly, especially considering there are two big hitters right now that you have. That is Palmer and Salah, and your third big midfielder. Like I think Aisen mentioned that um, we have distributed our money, the Haaland money, which we would have 100%. Like I'm sure next season everyone is going to go on him, right? No one is going away from him. So right now we have distributed our money into say a Palmer, Salah, the third maybe Bumo, Bruno. People have Bruno as well. People have Isak. Most likely for me, it is between Palmer and Salah. I don't think I'm going to sell Isak for, personally. Again, team dependent, but because Newcastle have doubles or have doubles coming up, so you should keep Isak, even though they don't play in 29. Because right now, as of today, especially, maybe tomorrow something changes with fixtures. As of right now, um, Newcastle are only doubling in 32, and Salah and Palmer don't have any doubles going until 38. So those
Yeah.
two are my targets to make funds.
And like with Isak, like specifically in my team, and I'm sure in a lot of teams as well, if I sell him and buy him, it's like a 0.9 million loss for me, which
Yeah,
is, I think it's pretty significant. Although we are towards the end of the season, like it's last 10 game weeks, but I still think 1 million is goes a long way, especially if you want expensive assets. Um, I've even seen a couple of drafts with Haaland, Palmer, and Salah, but obviously your bench is very weak then. Let's go to the next slide because that kind of adds to the to this conversation, which is you have Salah obviously, but moving on from this game week, from game week 29 till game week 38, there are not a lot of game weeks where you would captain Salah, right? So, and Haaland is captainable in a lot of them. Let's talk about that very briefly. So 29, if you own him, apart from Wood against Ipswich, I don't think there's any major captaincy shout. So 29, you might want to captain him. Salah blanks. Then game week 30, Salah has Everton, but Haaland has Leicester, and Leicester at home is obviously much better. So he's again captainable here. United away, I am very like you would again want to captain him. He scored like I think 4 goals against United the last
yeah.
season, first derby game. 3 goals, I think a hat trick. And then Crystal Palace, okay, you
Three
might
goals, 3 assists.
3 goals.
Yeah,
That's crazy. And
Yeah,
then
him and
32,
Foden.
yeah. So Haaland against United, you would want to captain again. For 32 is a double, so you wouldn't captain Salah anyways. You would captain or maybe triple captain Isak or Crystal Palace assets. And then 33 is your bench boost week, right?
yeah. If you
33 is,
if you
yeah.
take a wild
Yeah.
card, yeah.
Yeah, if you take a wild card, generally 33. So yeah, this is obviously you could captain Salah here, and 34 is against again it's a free hit week. It's a blank week, so most people would have on a free hit would have Salah again. So what basically this tells me is captaincy wise, Haaland will be captain is more captainable in more weeks than Salah. So if you're trying to own Salah and Haaland both, and you are looking to captain Haaland in more weeks, then I don't think it's worth it to invest that much money in Salah. That's my POV. Who to sell him for? Yeah, I think Trent or Salah. If that's, in my opinion, that's the only route for most people. And obviously that comes with a huge a warning that again you're going against Salah, and it could happen like whatever happened in the first leg of the season as well. Haaland owners didn't have Salah, and like it was how bad it was. So
Uh,
bottom
I
line,
think as
in my
yeah,
yeah, go for it.
I think this is the point of the season. Like, the 28, 29, 30. You'll be having your chip strategies. You'll be having your non-typical single game weeks. I think we'll see a lot of variance in terms of your team structure, in terms of your effective ownership of players, and in terms of captaincy returns. And I think the seasoned managers, uh, they will likely, maybe outscore or outthink those managers who or maybe playing the first or second season, have maybe some knee-jerk reactions, will try to get each player with the favorable captaincy pick rather than sticking to players that are fixture proof. So I think this is a very interesting part of the season where uh, game week average scores are likely to be higher than you've seen in the previous game weeks, just because of the engagement of managers. Out of, I think we have 11 million players, but how many are active and how many, because Asan, the league which you and I play, I think the our surrounding leaders all have at least 3 to 4 or maybe even 5 chips. Like, I only have 2 or 3 left. I think I have my wild card and bench boost left, and free hit left only. Like, I've used all my chips. So I think it's a very interesting part of the season, and hopefully when we start like putting up more content like this, I think we can try to navigate it in an optimal way, and hopefully help others to do so also.
Yep, I think this is a change, like that point of the season, like it could change your season. Honestly, like people in the millions, I was telling Puneet like big rank gains are very possible because like you have 4 consecutive weeks where you could play chips if you have them, and
True.
it's like that's crazy. And even like I forgot to mention in 33 where Leicester Salah has Leicester away, but 33 is a double, right? So you would want to captain a doubler instead of Salah. So yeah, my sort of bottom line is if you want to get Haaland, I think Salah or Trent. Ideal case, I would want to keep all three of them and somehow sell Trent and get money for him, which is very difficult. But yeah, um, that's sort of my opinion, and I think we've spent a lot of time on it. Um, Puneet, your bottom line on Haaland discussion?
Definitely sell Salah or Palmer, unless Chelsea get announced. And the reason is, if you target 29, then maybe Salah is your best bet to sell if you, because Chelsea could get a double in future. If not, and you can do it with Palmer, with the kind of season you're having, you definitely can, because Palmer is still replaceable with say an Enzo or someone, but Salah might not be. But yeah, you have to sell. There is no doubt that you have to go on him.
Cool. And one more thing on Salah. Sorry. Liverpool is still in the Champions League. They
Right.
have back-to-back fixtures. Especially like even in the Southampton game, we'll come to let's come to this week's captaincy, like game week 28 captaincy. Um, I think most people are going with Salah because Salah against Southampton. Why not? But a very quick note that PSG's game was 2 days ago, and then we have Salah playing on Saturday, and then they have PSG again in midweek. Uh,
On Tuesday, by the way, so they are
yeah,
playing lesser time frame for them. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So Wednesday PSG, Saturday Premier League, Tuesday PSG, and the PSG game. Whoever didn't see, it was an amazing watch. PSG outplayed Liverpool. Still, they were 1-0 down, and Salah played 87 minutes or 86 minutes. So I will not be shocked, and that's why I'm like slightly itching towards captaining Palmer, because I would not be shocked if Salah plays 30 to 60 minutes and gets a gets a send off. Like he gets a subbed. What do you guys like on game week 28 captaincy? Puneet, your take.
Yeah, I am. I'm genuinely considering Palmer very, very heavily this game week because of the reasons that you mentioned for Salah. And plus, if you're chasing, like if you're 1 million plus, this is one of your opportunities to chase. Like, think that Salah doesn't perform for 60, 70 minutes, he goes off because Liverpool can genuinely draw that game and still win the title. So, there it is.
And considering it's Southampton, they probably
They
don't
should,
play him and still
don't
win the
even.
game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And by the way, the winning goal last game was scored after Salah got subbed off for Harvey Elliott,
It's
and
true.
Harvey Elliott scored that goal from the right wing.
It's true. Yeah.
SN Game Week 28 captain, is it Salah for you, or are you thinking
Yeah,
towards?
currently it's on Salah, but I think I saw a bit of Palmer playing today. He was playing on the right side, and the Chelsea team was definitely changed up. But I think the minutes risk is definitely there with Salah, and plus it's Ramzan, so I'm not sure how he's managing, but that's still a
It's a
factor.
good point. It's a good
Yeah.
point.
So, and like you said, Southampton at home, given the fact that Liverpool are like 10, 11 points clear, it's very likely that he starts. They go 3-0 4 up, in the first half, 50, 60 minutes, and he gets an early sub. I still remember that Bournemouth game 8-0 and nothing from Salah. So, and so maybe that's why I'm leaning towards Palmer, because if I have Palmer, he is 11-ish million, and people have started selling him already. Like people sold him after his misses against Southampton. So I think he is definitely a punt. And the fact that, like I mentioned, I don't have many chips left. So if I need that rank gain, that cushion, that extra 15, 20 points, so maybe Palmer can actually get me that. So I might just, change towards Palmer towards the deadline.
So all three of us are currently at Salah, but are edging towards Palmer. That's good to know. And very
Yeah.
good point you raised, Asin. Like even this, why Salah's ceiling is low in this game is if they are 2-0 up, he would rest Salah. Like it may just make sense for him to
Yeah,
get a resting, right?
that's true.
It's not like if they score 6-0, Salah has 4 goals. No.
Yeah,
Uh,
because league is not their concern right now. They
Correct.
know, okay, they have it pretty much in the bag. And so, yeah, it's pretty, you never know, Slot might actually be targeting the double of the league and the Champions League. So, and PSG should have won that game very, very convincingly on any other day. So it'll be at Anfield. He would want Salah rested. So yeah, an early sub is very likely.
cool. Let's move on. I have this one quick graphic for the audience and for you guys as well. Can you guess which player the yellow is and which player the green box is? SN, what's your guess?
I think the yellow player would definitely be Salah. I think that he's been overperforming.
Yeah, the yellow is Salah. Salah has overperformed his expected
Like,
points by 31,
yeah, that's
and
crazy.
and then
That's
this is
actually, yeah,
and then why does he overperform? Because he's an elite finisher. He is in the form of his
yeah,
life.
True.
This is the best season he's
yes,
had. He might break all FPL
break all
all-time records
record.
ever, right?
Yes,
So makes sense, right? But again, stats wise, this has to come towards expected data somehow in the longer term. And then number two is Palmer. Palmer has expected
yeah.
points of 40. He has underperformed his expected points by about 13 points. And this is just looking at the last 7 weeks. So just one data point for you guys. Let's quickly we are let's quickly move towards the midfielders. Midfielders, Gordon is out, and then also you're looking to make money for Palmer. Oh, sorry,